Okay, game on, everybody. Oh, they actually baited me a little bit because they switched sides. So, guys, obviously, Feel the Heat is on the left in this and Washed Up is on the right. I'm currently just fixing that real quickly. And we're going to fix that overlay. But as we head into this, we have our first game in a best of 5 series. So today we're looking at the winner bracket final. We're entering the first best of 5 match. The winner bracket final, the consolation final, and the grand final are all best of 5 as series. And this is the first one of those. So Feel the Heat is going up against Washed Up in the first best of 5, or potentially even 2 that the teams face off against each other. Volskaya Foundry kicks us off at a pretty long day yesterday, actually. So we'll find out today if that's going to continue or not. But off we go. Zul gets banned right away. This is definitely going to be one of those games that's already going to at least show a little bit where we are headed within this tournament, because these two teams were expected to face off against each other, right? They faced off in every single grand final of the qualifiers. 2 of those grand finals ended with Washed Up taking it. In the last tournament, Feel the Heat at the end of the day was able to take the victory. But now in the winner bracket final, of course, you want to enter the grand final as quickly as you can, not have to go through those extra matches in the lower bracket. So whoever wins it here will have a bit of an advantage heading into the grand final. And even if it's just that you can analyze your opponent's play a little bit more, that you have to play less games, and that you can just relax and enjoy the show. But let's see who's taking it here. For now, when it comes to the ban patterns, I mean, it's Volskaya Foundry. We have the ban against Urellas we've seen so many times right now. We have at the same time also the ban on Imperius, as you can see here. And, well, let's see what the last ban is for Feel the Heat right now as we're heading into this. Today, by the way, Blade is back, as you might have already seen. So yesterday we had Chris subbing in for Blade because he could not play on the first day. Today, though, the entire 5-man is present, so no subs on the side of Feel the Heat here. But, well, with Cassia being the last ban, that also means that we have Anna, for example, available. So we could see her on the support side again. It also, of course, means that when it comes to frontliners, we have ETC, who was a regular ban, also in play. And Medivh gets picked first for Washed Up. Okay, so how do you deny Ultralisk's Medivh? You just pick it for yourself and you give it over to Hazorbs, which is exactly what they're currently doing here. Now we got Deckard Cain and Tracer locked in, so Dino is able to zip around again with Tracer. And let's see how Washed Up is actually counteracting that. Let's see what we're having there. With Medivh, I mean, that's going to be an interesting setup already. They can keep Diablo alive. That's a ley line into an APOC setup, potentially. So Medivh ley line into a Diablo ult. And Masquerade is just absolutely insane on Diablo. I'm personally really happy every single time we see one of these bad boys pick Diablo, because it's really a character that, if you know how to play him properly, can be totally... I mean, it can be insane. And against Tracer, it's not a bad pick either. We've seen back in the HGC days how Breeze, for example, one-shotted Fan on Tracer to an extent where he just said, like, alright, I'm not going to touch that guy anymore. So Breeze was just insane on that. Today, we're not quite on that level, but it's still pretty awesome to see a good Diablo player push that hero to the limit. Malfurion gets banned out, as we're seeing now supports being targeted. X-Ray obviously already has Deckard Cain. Still means that Anna is available, so they were more concerned about the lockdown that Malfurion is able to provide here. But Bananas Anna is obviously a bit bananas, so that's still an option. Deathwing gets banned. That's one of Blade's favorite heroes. Oftentimes you see Blade either on Deathwing, we see him a lot on Leoric, for example. So those are some of the offlaners that he usually brings to the forefront here. Johanna comes in first, and we got Ultralisk on Junkrat. Alright, so a little bit of displacement, a little bit of control to Deckard Cain, to Johanna. So far, it actually looks pretty good. And what do we have on the other side here? It's actually kind of funny to look at the lineup, because you might have already listened to the games before, and Night Vision is actually it's X-Ray's Smurf account, and Dequaza is playing the account because Blizzard apparently swung the bang hammer and banned it out, and banned Dequaza's main account out, and he needed an account that has heroes available, and X-Ray was kind enough to give him his Smurf account for this event. So it's kind of funny to see 2 of X-Ray's account presented here, 1 on each side. Brightwing getting picked, okay. Banana H apparently trying to give himself a bit of a handicap in game number 1, saying like, just watch boys, I'm gonna go for it. Reason is of course that you have Tracer there, so the Polymorph is really gonna help with that. You can control Tracer a little bit with the Polymorph, you have the Blaze Stun, you got Diablo, so you have a few tools available. And in addition to that, we have our last pick. Malthael gets picked by Blade as we are heading into game number 1 of Volskaya Foundry in this best of 5 series here, the winner bracket, a final of the Panda Cup. So let's jump straight in. First game in the best of 5 win for Volskaya Foundry, and on the left side, Feel the Heat with X-Ray on Deckard Cain. We got Wit on Johanna, Ultralisk on Junkrat, Dino and Tracer, and Blade on Malthael. And on the right side of the map, washed up with Hazorps on Medivh. We got Banana H on Brightwing, Nick on Reyna, and Night Vision aka Dequaza on Blaze with Masquerade on Diablo. Alright, let's check it out and see who takes it. First of all, the ace in the hole for Jimmy. So Nick not going into the Exterminator. Again, Blizzard tinkered around with that talent a lot, and right now, depending on the map, you see a lot more ace in the hole again. So Exterminator is not a necessary pick any longer. It's still very strong and the preferred pick on a lot of maps, especially of course Battlefield of Eternity. But as you've seen yesterday and also today here, we still get to see ace in the hole now, especially on maps where you're looking more towards the team fights than value against any kind of a PvE setup. So, with this, we have now a Blaze and Diablo set up for them, with also a bit of an additional setup towards the back. Medivh is going to help out, and the ley line Apoc setup after level 10 could be quite powerful for them too. Another thing to watch out for. Yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited to see if those combos are going to be true later on in the game. But there's always Tracer on the other side, so that's another thing to definitely watch out for. And Masquerade is going to try to get those wall stuns in. This time Dino was able to escape it, but as the game continues, that's going to of course be a huge threat against Tracer, especially after level 16 domination for Masquerade. Then he can go for that double stun and try to take them out. We'll see how that goes for them. For now, we have a little bit of a check-up down to the bottom of the map where the camps are now taken. It's all about the items, and Medivh is obviously flying in and just having a quick look-see to see what's going on there. Just making sure that they have no chance of actually invading this. And of course, Hazo is also still working on the stacks as well. Sitting at 6 right now, and they're going for Blade, and they get him. Nice portal action by Hazorps over here. Easy kill, and that's experience lost to Feel the Heat. But they instead moved to the top and were able to take the healing beacon. So they lost out on a little bit of experience, but they got the objective topside, the item. And are now in a position where they have, going into objective number 1, an item advantage over their opponents. Not really too bad for them. Also, at this point, level 4 abilities. Again, the Behemoth Armor for Jimmy. And we got the Pulse Generator after the 1-2 punch for Tracer. Standard build for her once again. Blade already sitting down at the bottom of the map against Dequaza. And teams are just trying to go for their camps, timing those around the first objective, when we're really going to see the first action in the game really coming through. Nico is of course going to try to get some stacks for his level 4 as the fight continues, to make sure that he has a higher hit point pool, which is also going to make him a bit more resilient against any kind of approach of Dino. Malthael dead again, detecting a little bit of a theme here. Blade back to business today, but apparently he's not quite ready yet. That's the second kill against him. 2.5 minutes into the game already, so not really a good start for Malthael. The aspect of death is doing a lot of dying at this point, and the objective is now popping up, and that's a slight advantage in experience. It could very well lead to an early level 7 and a talent advantage for the red team around objective number 1. So here comes the setup again. Stun already against Wit. The Polymorph follow-up, nicely done. Blade is back and is immediately jumping in with Malthael, getting some serious damage out, especially of course against Jimmy. Nice boop away here. In this case, Junkrat's move actually worked in favor of Nick. They were all able to escape. But of course the portal control is still there. The attempt to control the portal with those mines. Once again, Malthael is down. And that's the 3rd time now that Blade dies. 3 kills to 0. Yeah, this is this is getting a little bit nasty for Malthael. It's definitely not what they were looking forward to here. So he died 3 times and he started to become the punching ball of Washed Up here. Every single time he shows his face, he is getting a bit of a facial there. One hit after another connecting, and he's in real trouble. At the same time, we of course now saw Ultralist trying to control the portal as much as he can with those mines, but it doesn't really work for him, honestly. It's a little bit of a problem. The issue is, it doesn't really work in the sense that he was now trying multiple times to get a kill set up for the team, but he actually saved Reyna, so it's a bit tricky to make that work properly, but of course he has a lot more chances as the game continues to make it work. Those portals are going to keep popping up. Hazu is going to try to set up the team. Another quick boop back. Hazu, by the way, 15 stacks for him, so he's getting there on the baseline. 90% for the blue team. They're trying to make a play. Wall stun is in, and they're going for Blade again, and Dino as well. Overtime has already started. They're taking the turret down. They still have one in around the point. Also, Ruby is giving some value here. They try to go for the kill. Dino, oh, 12 hit points. And then Blaze comes in with a kill and is able to lock him down. They're trying for more, and they're about to get Blade again. He jumps in and tries to set up the kill. Not quite able to do it. The wall stun, and Blade goes down. And that's now the chance for Washed Up to maybe take the objective after all. The fight still continues, as we see the blue team poking in time and time again to try and prevent it. But it's half a level until 10, 5 kills against 0. The kill count alone is already telling you everything that you need to know of the early game here. And level 10 should be ready in time to guarantee them the first protector. Hazu still has to be cautious. He's sitting at 30 stacks on the baseline. He needs another 10 to complete it, so he has to be careful here. But as I said, level 10 is so close that if at any point they're getting just one more minion wave, they're going to be in a fantastic spot to lock in objective number 1. Nice cover also from Dequaza with his Blaze play here. We have Dino rotating down to the bottom, but there's the level 10. Apoc comes out. A little bit of ult thrown out just to zone them away from the objective, and that worked out quite nicely. Didn't really do any more than that, so they lock in the protector. They break through the wall in the middle without any problem at all, and now move straight towards the top here. Okay, at that point, so far it's been a beating. Ooh, that's another problem. Blade, no, and he goes down again. Oh, it really starts to hurt. Blade died 5 times already. Out of those 6 kills of Washed Up, 5 took down Malthael. Tracer died once. That is not a good way to bring himself into this tournament. Well, as it stands, we have the Falling Sword. Actually interesting to see it. Normally you see it played a lot from Feel the Heat when they're up against an Ana play, so that they can put more pressure onto the support. In this case, that's not going to work for them. Instead, we're going to have them go for Nick. I actually really like that Brightwing went into the Blink heal over the alternative ult, because Ixia has been playing with Blink heal a whole lot. I like that Banana Age is doing the exact same thing. If you're trying to get some Brightwing value and use her as a full support, then that's definitely the way to go here. The times where you went for Genji Brightwing combos and then just like zipped in with a Swift Strike and tried to get them away with the Emerald Wind are definitely over. Oh, that's a great setup here, and here's the combo, baby! And what a stun! Can they get the kills? Well, they're certainly gonna try. Kills might not come out, but that was a great combo regardless. Deckard Kane goes down, and they're going for Blade as well, and Blade is once again falling. Yeah, the aspect of dying is doing a lot of that. Let's take another look real quickly at that combo, by the way. This is exactly what we can look forward to a lot more in these fights. Look at that. Good stun from Blaze setting it up, and then the full-on combo with the ley line straight into the stuns. It leads to them picking up 2 kills at the end and also getting the position here. But exactly that type of combo play is something that we can expect with the Medivh and Diablo composition. By now we have also Medivh completing his baseline, so there's no problem for him anymore, even if he dies. And the blue team, I mean, they're struggling. They're nearly 2 levels behind, 1.5 to be fair. It's 8 kills to 0. They haven't found a single kill yet. They have not found a single kill thus far, which really is a problem. So, not quite sure where this is headed, but if they don't find some kind of foothold in this game soon, then we're going to just see an absolute beatdown, at least on in game number 1. And I want to remind everybody again that this is a best of 5 series. We're not quite done with the best of 3s yet. There's actually another match that has to be played out in the losers bracket later on. That is the final best of 3. But the consolation final, the winner bracket final, which we're looking at here right now, and the grand final, they are all best of 5s. So there is a lot of time to really bring it back if you even lose a map. But this is obviously not a good opening into the winner bracket final here for Feel the Heat. Okay, so with that, what else do we have? We currently have for Malthael the inevitable end. Right now, the inevitable end for Malthael seems to be a painful death. But maybe things can change now with those 13 talents. Having the unstoppable frames ready is definitely going to be nice. The problem is that even before the second objective even spawns, and now making the play for the bot lane and try to get the 4th here, they already took the fountain down and things are just getting worse. Here comes Jojo jumping in. Leyline, Apoc, and there's the kill. Malthael is down once again. I'm detecting a little bit of a theme here. And yeah, it is absolutely nuts. It's absolutely crazy. We're looking at 9 kills to 0. And again, we like the combos, so let's have another look at this combo. Look at the leyline setup here. First they're trying to make the engage happen, but then the leyline comes out. They make the play for Malthael. They're jumping in and take him apart within seconds. No problem at all. That's another big kill against Blade. And yeah, as I said before, they're just farming him right now. If this continues, he has to rename himself into free XP because this is getting absolutely bonkers. 9 kills to 0. They're nearly on level 16 right now. They're going to rock a talent advantage in just a couple of seconds. And yeah, I don't know what else to say here. 7 deaths on Blade. I mean, at this point, he's going to end up with the double digits. It's definitely not his game. Yeah, boy needs a coffee. Boy needs a coffee. Whatever happened before the tournament started, he's not quite there yet. We need to give him a good coffee, maybe a double espresso, something along those lines, and then for game number 2 is going to be ready. So, yeah, they need to wake him up here. But as it stands, it's going to be difficult. I mean, right now is obviously full map control. Projector number 2 at the top is going to end up in the hands of Washed Up. There's no doubt of that happening. There it is already, biding their time. They're also going for the items right now. It is saying hello. I mean, if need be, he can always jump out. Banana H sees all of this happening down at the bottom of the map. Haas is already supplying the portal. And it is... yeah, no time for the apocalypse here. Diablo had it, but they didn't want to go for the combo. Instead, Blade is moving in again, is trying to make something work with the Tormented Soul. So far, it's not really working out. There's items already getting dropped. But of course, topside, we have Diablo in the driver's seat. And there's no gunner in this protector, but they're still just trying to get some damage in. And he is moving straight up for the keep. And why wouldn't he? The fort at the bottom of the map is nearly destroyed, so there's nothing else that he can really do. Yeah, it's getting... it's getting a little bit silly at this point. I'm waiting for that moment where at least Feel the Heat picks up a kill, because there's kind of nothing worse than if you actually lose an entire map without even getting a single kill. That's always annoying. Can you just imagine that happening, them losing this without taking a single kill? That would be kind of insane. But again, they have at least level 16 talents now, so there is a silver lining on the horizon. And they're now trying to put the pressure onto Reyna, as mentioned before. There's no Ana this time, so you go for one of the heroes that has the least amount of mobility. Apoc comes out, they try to go for the combo, nobody gets hit by it though, they're making the play for Blay, and there it is, the next kill against Malthael. Great jet propulsion also, as they try, look at this, Deckard Kane! Alright, I've never seen that. We're definitely going to take another look at that in just a second. Deckard Kane gets caught in the middle of a jump and then he just dies upon hitting the ground here. Yeah, that old man is not really made for bungee jumping anymore. That didn't really work for him. But they're just crushing everything right now, aren't they? I mean, they're taking 3 kills here once more. It's 12 kills to 0. They're still playing around the middle in an attempt to take the keep down. This is absolutely insane. Can they get the whole thing? Yeah, maybe not quite. Nah, Nick gets it. Nick takes it. And they rotate down to the bottom immediately. Alright, while they're attacking here, still, let's take another look at Deckard Cain. Look at Deckard Cain flying around into a ley line any second here. There's the jet propulsion, and then Deckard Cain with a landing. Yeah, that's a 10-point landing right there. Drops down and dies. But of course, not before they kill Malthael again, too. Now we have... the dozen is full. And they control, of course, all the camps here. The keep in the middle has already fallen. They're trying to go for another kill against Johanna up at the front. Dino is moving in, is trying to help out. But they go for Diablo. Maybe a kill here. Brightwing comes in, helps out. The portal is ready. And just this combo with Medivh always being there is so difficult to hold. Oh, another kill against Malthael. And he's at 9 deaths at this point. Diablo gets away. They are not giving them even one kill. The ley line is out once more. There's the APOC. They get the stun connected. Wall stun. Deckard down. They get the kill against Johanna. They are murdering them. Absolutely murdering them. 16 kills to 0. 46,000 damage on Jimmy. Dino's the only one who survived the last onslaught. And Feel the Heat, they are really played to the wall here. If the game ends now, the only good thing about it would be that Blade doesn't die 10 times, doesn't hit the double digits. And yeah, that's probably the only saving grace for him here. This is not a good game for Feel the Heat. This is a fantastic opening, on the other hand, for Washed Up. They go for the core and they play the perfect game. They don't lose a fort, they don't lose a tower, and they take them down with 16 kills to 0. What a stomp in game number 1. Okay, game number 2. After the ass-kicking that Feel the Heat received on the last map, they need a little bit of a break to apply some aloe vera because they got burned this hard. Rumor has it that they actually got spanked so hard that they're gonna play this game standing because sitting down hurts too much. But Washed Up just finished a perfect game and was able to win it without even... suffering a single death, which is insane. So now we're heading into Infernal Shrines, which is map number 2, and we'll find out if Feel the Heat can come back here. Again, this is a best of 5 series. We are in the winner bracket final. The team that loses is not out of the tournament yet. They will drop down into the losers bracket and then have another opportunity to make it through the bracket and end up in the grand final. And maybe go for a rematch. So Infernal Shrines, Medivh gets banned, this time actually by Washed Up. So they want to make sure that Ultralisk does not give them a taste of their own medicine after what we've just seen there. Urel still gets banned. Imperius is of course another side laner that we could also see being eliminated. Deckard Cain first of all gets locked away, so the old man is not going to be able to step it up around the shrines with a few more seals. And that leaves us with bans potentially on Imperius. We could see a ban on Cassia, we could see a ban on Anna. So there's still a couple of heroes around that you will see high priorities on, either as a ban or as a pick as the games continue. Especially yesterday, we've seen a lot of that happen. But what is Washed Up going to decide to do here? They had the map choice, they chose Infernal Shrines. So first pick goes over to Feel the Heat. And they take Zul away. We've seen a lot of Zul on Infernal Shrines because those rotations are just so easy for him to manage, and he adds a lot during the Shrine phase too. And off we go. So, we got Feel the Heat with Imperius. Alright. The beauty of Imperius is that you can still play him in that flexible role. You can still play him in a side laner role. You can play him as a main tank. It honestly just depends on what kind of setup you're going for. It's a little bit like the HC days where ETC was an early pick because you could either play him with the stage dive or mosh pit, and depending on the lineup that you wanted to go for, you could then push him into a different lane. So in this case, it's highly likely that we're going to see Imperius in the main tank role, but if you want, you can still push him onto the side lane and add another main tank then to the equation and have that on the point, depending on what exactly you're looking for. For example, on Infernal Shrines, if Johanna isn't taken away, as in this case it happens, then you could try and add a little bit more wave clear and put Johanna into the mix too, or of course you could add another side laner in, like for example, let's say Blaze, Leoric, and add it that way as well. Cassia gets picked, she wasn't banned out. We got Johanna in play too, Ultralist this time with Kerrigan, so taking it away from Nick as well. And we immediately have Anna locked into. Alright, nice. I like that. We got the Ana already. We got the Carrigan picked away. So neither Banana nor Nick are going to get one of the heroes that they're really looking for here. And while we're waiting for the next one, this question pops always up. I still have to real quickly come back to my initial point. The account Night Vision is played by Dequaza. So normally it's the Smurf account of X-Ray, but Dequaza's main account apparently got banned by Blizzard. And yeah, so therefore he needed another account that has a lot of heroes available, and X-Ray was nice enough to give him this account for the duration of the tournament. So I'm not quite sure what happened to Dequaza there, but again, Blizzard's rules were always weird. You write fuck in a game in chat and you can actually get banned for that, which is always a little bit weird because people have to, in the settings, agree to see mature language. So you have to actually check in the settings a box, tick a box that says, hey, I'm not a snowflake. I can deal with mature language. And then when you see a bad word, you can report it and the other person can get banned for it. Not saying that happened in this case, but that's actually possible and it happened in the past, so it's a little bit weird. Either way, big shout out to X-Ray for making this work, but everybody that's a little bit more familiar with X-Ray and asks themselves right now, wait a second, why is he actually playing on two sides? That's kind of weird. Not quite the case. So yeah, Dequaza is playing. There's no sub or anything happening. Anyways, Blaze gets picked together with Jojo. That's a bit of old school style for Washed Up. It's actually exactly what they played in the past a lot, and it's a super powerful combo. We have Malfurion together with that too. And we also have now Tassadar and Blade. Alright, after the last game, my only recommendation would don't pick Animal Husbandry. Dino and Tassadar. And let's see what Nick is gonna pick as the last pick. Probably a little bit annoyed right now that he can't look his Carrigan in. It's like, you stole my hero. You shall suffer! Okay, let's see what Nick is gonna go for. And our last pick on Infernal Shrines is Jaina! Alright, a little bit of burst damage. No agile melee assassin for him this time. Game number 2, everybody, in the best of 5. The winner bracket final. Washed Up against Feel the Heat. Map number 2. Game number 2. Feel the Heat against Washed Up. Washed Up in the lead after the first game, which was an absolute blowout. Now we're looking at the second map, Infernal Shrines. And on the left side, we got Feel the Heat with X-Ray on Ana, Ultralisk on Carrigan, Blade on Rexa, and Wit on Imperius. Dino is playing Tassadar in game number 2. On the right side of the map, Banana H with Malfurion. We have Hazorps on Cassia, Masquerade on Johanna, Night Vision, aka Dequaza on Blade, and we have Nick on Jaina. Alright, let's see if they can bring it back here, because game 1... I mean, let's call game 1 a wake-up call, right? This is one of those games that you just simply have to shrug off and you have to say, okay, let's just forget about it. Let's focus on the game at hand. Let's not go about and argue about the game before, so let's go. At this point, we currently have our setup with Cassia trying to stack. We've seen it already a few times. Hazorps has done a great job with that yesterday. Top side, that's where Blade is currently sitting in the bush and needs to be careful that he doesn't get stunned out here. Blade, no! No! Misha saving Rexa. That could have been the first kill in this game, and that would have been the 10th time that Blade dies in this series. He finished the last game with 9 deaths, so he barely made it this time towards the fountain and survived here, but that could have backfired very, very quickly. I mean, right now, top side, Blade is already going up against Ultralisk here, against Dequaza here. The rest of the map is obviously focusing more heavily now onto those camps that spawn at the 1 minute mark. Tassadar is attempting to stack. And we're definitely going to keep our eye also on Ultralisk, who with Carrigan is going to try and really, really put the numbers in here too. Wit still trying to play this out properly. Camps are taken, which means that there's only the one at the bottom of the map still available for the 2 to take. Wit, on the other hand, with a tactical pause, and that can only mean one thing. Ultralisk has disconnected. Oh yeah! Ultralisk missed a disconnect 2020. Yeah, our Kerrigan player currently not in the game. It wouldn't be a Feel the Heat game if Ultralist didn't actually disconnect. So he should be back in just another second, but that's a 3-2-3 moment for them. At this point, it just feels like it's a long term. They're playing the long game, right? They're always making Ultralist disconnect just a little bit. So if at any point they need a tactical pause, they can always blame it on Ultralisk, and everybody just immediately says like, yeah, that always happens to him. But he's back to business already. And right now, we got the fight for the camp at the bottom of the map, as already predicted. At least a little bit of a peek is happening here. The wall is in, and they're getting completely zoned out. Good timing from Dino, making sure that nobody was able to walk onto the spot, secures themselves the camp, and so far, so good. Alright, it's time to shine here, as we have our level 4 talents. We got the Strangling Vines, we got the Thunderstroke. Araxa hasn't picked the talent yet. At this point, yeah, Blade is thinking about picking Animal Husbandry. Thinking about how ballsy that pick would be. If he, after the first game, goes in and just picks Animal Husbandry and just says, fuck it, I'm not gonna die here, guys, I got this. Yeah, of course it's the Hunter-Gatherer. And he is going to get the extra armor eventually for Misha and himself here. We have the objective announced. The team's focusing on Shaman camps. The objective is this time spawning at the bottom of the map. So it's actually a highly impactful Shaman camp that we're going to look at here. It's going to move through the top of the map. And now at the bottom with level 6 on both sides. No kill just yet. It's going to be our first real skirmish, as both teams are going to attempt to go for the first Punisher in this game. And let's go. Ops with 8 stacks. That's also where you can shine a little bit and try to get the stacks up a bit more. Good control on the spot now from the blue team. Feel the Heat, trying to get the lead, and they have a small one. Misha in the thick of things, trying to get something done, but is not really able to really put any kind of dent in this. They're trying to actually zone out him. Oh, they're zoning out Blaze at this point. Dequaza's in trouble. Dequaza might fall, but so does Imperious. Kill on each side, 1 down. We got 2 of the frontliners eliminated, so 4 versus 4. Ultralisk is looking for the next victim. And Hazu has really started to stack up here. Again, this is obviously a paradise for Cassia. 20 stacks for her already. Went into the fight with only 8. Now we're already looking at 20, but here comes Kerrigan, and Kerrigan can carry again. Coming in with a kill, gets helped by Ana, who secures the last shot. And with Misha moving through, we have a 3rd kill for the blue team as they drop Jojo. Nicely done. So all of a sudden, 3 kills to 1. Feel the Heat, able to maybe even lock down another one. They're trying to go for Dequaza. He's attempting to move out, and he should be able to move away, but nope. The hero minion is able to put him off the mount, and that is the end of Blaze. As the Punisher at the bottom of the map has helped Feel the Heat to move through the wall and try and go for the fort itself. Fantastic opening now for Feel the Heat into this game. So that's definitely what they were looking for with game number 2, especially after the beating they received on the first map. So this is looking much better right now. 4 kills against 1 in their favor, a level lead. They went through the bottom and did a decent amount of damage to the fort. Weren't able to take it down, but they went to the wall, they got the fort, they got the kills, they got the experience. So they're looking good right now. With that, what else are we getting? We have the moves through the middle, trying to get some experience here. Blade can now try to control also the experience up at the top. At the bottom of the map, there's additional damage through the camp that just now moves in on the fort, and camps are taken by Feel the Heat in their quest to get the level 10 ability as well. So yeah, great start for them. Off we go. And of course, we're going to also see an attempt to go for this camp. Question is only who's going to get it. Because if Washed Up doesn't take it now, then with level 10 abilities, Feel the Heat might be able to move in and try and claim it. At this point, they're just trying to move to the bottom of the map in order to take the fort itself down. Kerrigan is moving in from the side. And here we go. Level 10 is ready. Ultralisk gets locked down. And here comes the stun from Imperious coming in from the side lane. Hazops is on the run. Hazops is in trouble. There's the wall. There's the combo. There's the stun. And there's the kill against Cassia. Kerrigan comes in. They nearly get a kill against Masquerade. Level 10 ability is definitely doing a lot for them. They pick up another kill. Hazops picked a couple more stacks. Now they're going to go for the camp. And then likely they will try to take this fountain out by providing vision for the Khazra camp. so that it's going to shoot over this little wall. Yep, that's exactly what we're seeing. Provided some vision, Khaldor's shooting in, Fountain is down, so that's another point that's eliminated on washed up side, where they won't be able to fall back to make something happen. Okay. Right now, we have a significant lead, but level 10 abilities will be ready for washed up in a second, and here they are. So that gives us the Blessed Shield, that gives us the bunker. We have Water Elemental in play for Nick. So they're really looking at some solid tools that they can use in the upcoming team fight over objective number 2. We already have down at the bottom of the map, a bit of experience is going to get soaked by washed up as well. They're still playing this a bit slow. Top side, top left, you have the Shaman camp, of course, now under closer surveillance as they are trying to lock this one in. Tacita is looking for some stacks, sitting at 60. We have 14 for the level 4 on Rexa, 28 for Cassia. And Jaina obviously also attempting to stack here a little bit more. And they're starting to go in. There's the Carrigan move, the kill against Banana Age. Malfurion is down. They attempted to take down Carrigan, that didn't really work out. Ultralisk got nano boosted here, and he is just doing a fantastic job. Nick is not the only one that can play Carrigan. He might be the better Carrigan of the two, but you can tell that Ultralisk is still able to really threaten the red team. And they are just losing one hero after another. With Malfurion now back to business, they at least can fight for the Shrine topside. But of course, in only half a level, there will be a level 13 talent ready for Feel the Heat, and that's another big problem. Everybody's starting to move topside right now. They go for another camp too, but that also gives a lead to Feel the Heat as they are going in for the first few stacks here. And they will take the advantage on this one. Here comes the move on the other hand for at least Nisha. They're trying to drop the bear early to give themselves that little break. Carrigan moving in again. There's the wall. Tacita always helping out and trying to set it up for them. But Wit is in trouble, and Wit is down, and Carrigan, no, Tacita gets sucked into as they go for the double kill. Great start for them. Good start for Washed Up. They are definitely saying, hey, we can still make this happen. Here comes the Blessed Shield set up. They go for Wit. Tons of damage. And then the Valkyrie comes through. Secures them kill number 2. And with this double kill, they are able to grab the Punisher topside. And honestly, if you look at it, they are already doing a sick amount of damage to that fort in the first place. So that Punisher is actually going to walk straight towards the keep. And they're going to try to drop the wall here. So that's pretty impressive. They will do a lot of damage there. It's 6 kills to 3 now, and there's a level 13 talent, but they're way ahead at this point. It's still a 5 versus 5 on the other side, so there's that. They don't have level 13 yet, and the blue team still is... Oh my god, no. Are they actually... Oh, they're actually making it, what? 13 versus 13, but they get the double kill here. They got 2 kills, and they're looking for number 3. They're getting it. Do not tell me that they actually lose out on the Punisher. One more stack is missing. One more stack. Here comes the Water Elemental. And they take it down. You gotta be fucking kidding me. They get wiped. They just wiped them off the map. No way. No way. Look at this. The combo right there in the corner. Carrigan coming in and they're using the choke point. The Punisher gets claimed by Feel the Heat. That's nuts. That's nuts. That should have never happened there. They could have focused on the objective. They didn't really do it. Once the 5 heroes were back on the map, Feel the Heat just simply moves onto the point, takes it, and Feel the Heat with 11 kills to 4 is now in a great spot. They take down Blaze in the middle, they push through the top, the fort is down, and the pain train is coming. Washed Up did such a great job at the beginning, and now they're struggling. They get a kill at least against Anna, and they're looking for more, but this is such a weird game all of a sudden. They come in, get another kill, try to go for the double. Carrigan is down, Wit has also been annihilated. And this game is just all over the place. The Keep gets attacked now too. They got 3 kills in that last encounter. And I mean, we're going to take another look at that fight as well as they're going for the defense here. They get the Anna kill early on. Then they are moving in with another quick setup against Carrigan. And they also drop Wit on Imperius. But what a game all of a sudden. 12 kills to 7. We're all over the place here. Haza is 42 stacks right now on Cassia. We see him with 24,000 damage. Nick is even a little bit further than that. He is on 29,000 for Jaina. The game is definitely not over yet, but whew, Feel the Heat definitely coming back into that top fight with a bang. Did not expect that to happen. So now we have 24,000 for Kerrigan. She's the top damage dealer for Feel the Heat. But this is getting crazy. I think Washed Up definitely underestimated it a bit what would happen there at the top. I don't think that they really felt Feel the Heat would go for such a big fight here after they were so far behind, and they didn't even commit to the objective either. They were trying to wait for level 13 so they could attack with even talents, which they now have on 16. But yeah, it's a bit bananas what they're seeing here. Off we go. Kerrigan. Nicely done, Nick, with a perfect ice block here. Chrysalis is being used too. And Kerrigan gets away. Ultralis dodging out on the Valkyrie here. And the kill against Johanna. Jojo down, Washed Up on the move back. Trying to escape here. Ultralis gets rooted. But Nick also has to go through the wall. The combo missing though. Nick! He dodges all the stuns. But then it's Imperius who has the final one available and is able to connect the lunge and set the kill up for the team. Quest completed for Rexa. Now they move into the middle. What a game. Definitely a nice way for Feel the Heat to show everybody that they're still in this one. That's kind of bonkers. That's actually insane. So now we have another 4 down, 1 in the middle, by the way. The camp is doing a bit of damage, but obviously it's not gonna really do a whole lot here. We have level 18 versus 17 any second. Twice the amount of kills for Feel the Heat now. As I said, the game isn't over yet. Washed Up, they even hold on to that top keep. The question is obviously for how long. Now that they have 5 heroes back on the map, they need to try and defend here. But things are going to be a little bit nasty. Okay, so there's the Blessed Shield. They come straight in for the kill. Dino is already starting to drop, but they keep him alive. Here comes the Jet Propulsion again as they're trying to go for the next kill, and Ultralisk is actually caught by the Valkyrie. Bunker is on the ground. He's still trying to go for the kill. Hits 2. Cassia down. Blaze is down as well. And there's that. Nicely done. Nicely done. Great game now from Feel the Heat here. They're definitely keeping the pressure up, and even in the late game, Washed Up is not able to turn this around, at least not until now. And the objective is obviously now up 2. There's 2 heroes that are still dead. This is starting to snowball very, very swiftly against them. Huge problem right now for Washed Up. They just don't have any kind of angle to really get a hold of this game anymore and take control. They're always reacting to what Feel the Heat does. I think the best way, or the best chance for them to come back was the fight at the top shrine on the Punisher, where they got the initial double kill, and then it looked like they would walk away with an easy objective. But Feel the Heat, no fucks given, went back into the fight and showed them who's boss. I like it. It's a really cool series, actually. First game was a bit of a spanking, but I really enjoy that Feel the Heat is now coming back into this and is fighting back as much as they can. So that's going to be quite a bit of fun to see what's happening throughout this entire best of 5. But of course, this isn't over yet. We've all seen games where you have all of a sudden the team overcommitting a little bit, getting good damage in, but then on the retreat getting wiped, for example, and that just wipes out the experience lead that they had and brings the opponent back. But with a level 20 advantage, 2-level stats lead, and also a double camp plus Punisher moving through the middle, I don't think there's any doubt that this keep will fall. It's just a question of whether or not the core is also going to suffer or not. So everybody's starting to jump in here. The bait over the wall already. Cassia is down instantly. X-Ray at least is also killed as Nick comes in for the flank, but Malfurion has been eliminated too. Dequaza is trying to get away, but he gets also murdered in this fight. No chance for him here any longer. And yep, that is looking pretty bad for Washed Up. Seems like we're going to see a victory in game number 2 for Feel the Heat as they are tying the series in this game. Infernal Shrines ends in favor of Feel the Heat as they are not giving up on this best of 5 just yet in the winner bracket and lock in a victory in the second game. GG and well played. Map number 3, and yep, we are actually the series that's tied. The best of 5 continues, and yeah, off we go. So after I Feel the Heat lost map number 1, they were able to lock in the victory on Infernal Shrines. And now, of course, we'll find out which team is going to take the advantage in the best of 5 series. Sky Temple is the map, and map choice was made by Feel the Heat. Again, the usual principle applies here as well. The team that loses a map has the choice if they want to pick the next map or if they want to have first pick in the next draft. And normally what the teams opt for is to go for first pick, and that also applies here. Washed Up, they lost, they went for first pick, first ban, and therefore map choice fell to Feel the Heat. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And we have Zul banned again. We have also the ban on Urel. So it's pretty much the same pattern that we've seen in the previous games. The only question that remains here now is what happens around Medivh. Is that another hero that one of the two teams is going to try to ban away? Is he going to be open? Can he be picked? Because we've seen him in game number 1 and then the immediate ban on him shortly after. But Imperius gets banned too, so again this heavy focus onto the melee heroes that we have right now. And of course, in addition to that, we could still see Cassia banned out maybe. And yes, that's actually the case, which means that Medivh is open, amongst other things. It's also a big map. You could even see a Falstad here, Dehaka, any kind of global setup really works. We saw already Banana Age picking Brightwing once. Maybe a map where he would think about picking Brightwing again. With a little caveat, of course, that one of the reasons why Brightwing was actually picked in the first game was also that they went up against a Tracer. So if you're going up against a hero where you really want to have that polymorph, and in addition to that, you also want to have the global on the map, that is something that makes the hero a little bit more attractive on the high-level play at least. Medivh comes in together with that. That also makes up for a bit of those problems that Brightwing obviously has with the lack of a burst heal. That is at least mitigated a bit through the level 10. But now that they have Medivh, there's actually a chance that they might think about that once more. Especially since there's an opportunity now for Feel the Heat to go into another, I was about to say another Tracer draft, but with Karazim already getting picked here, that's obviously not happening. So Falstad gets taken together with that, and there's our global. And that will make things already interesting, because if Falstad gets portaled upon, that's a problem. And that brings us back to portal control. We've seen in previous games that if you're going up against the Medivh, heroes that can become interesting for you right away is, for example, a Malfurion that can put a root down whenever the portal appears, a Junkrat that can do the same thing with the mine. You're trying to control the portal as much as you can. Now we have, in addition to that, Greymane and Sonya locked in, and you can just picture a portal popping up at any point, and all of a sudden Greymane and Sonya making their way through and attacking you. So that's a huge problem. So it's going to be real interesting to see how exactly Feel the Heat is going to deal with that. Because that Medivh did work in game number 1. Diablo gets banned. They just don't want to deal with the ley line into the apocalypse again that we've seen in the first game. There were so many combos and they're just looking at us like, fuck that shit, that's not happening. We're not going to go up against that combo. That screwed us up multiple times and it's not happening in this game. So, yep, there we have the last ban in the rotation. And let's go. What are we gonna get rid of here? Tracer. Alright. With Greymane and Sonya there, I'm not even sure they would have picked Tracer. Or the insta-pick into a Nubarak and Li Ming. They really, really want to go for quick kills here. Can go for a bit of isolation. 7-sided would of course be another option. Maybe even the old school combo of getting the quick cocoon out and then bam, Mighty Gust for isolation. So there's a couple of tools that they have. With Li Ming taken, that also means that there cannot be a counter Li Ming pick to take the cocoon down immediately, which we usually see. It's one of the only reasons why you would ever pick the Disintegrate. And as more or less predicted, with Medivh in the setup, Brightwing becomes interesting. Against this lineup that they have, the Polymorph gains value. You have Medivh to make up for some of Brightwing's weaknesses. It's a big map. We talked about the globals previously, and the opponent has locked in Falstad, so that hero becomes a little bit more interesting right now. So in a setup like this, I'm not hating it too much. We saw it on map number 1, talked about it a little bit already there. You got the Shield of Medivh, you got the Portal, and then you have this lineup here as well, and of course the Polymorph on top of that. Blaze comes in as the final pick, so we have a Nubarak and Blaze, a little bit of a Korean setup that we saw at the Western Clash in 2018. When the Koreans played that combo. And that's game number 3. So guys, let's check out which team takes the lead in the best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final. Feel the Heat against Washed Up. Game on, everyone! Game number 3, Sky Temple. Feel the Heat with X-Ray. Playing Karazim with an Nubarak, Dainu on Falstad. We got Ultralisk on Li Ming and Blade on Blaze. On the right side of the map, Masquerade on Garrosh. We got washed up with Nick on Greymane, Banana H on Brightwing, Hazops on Medivh, and Dequaza on Sonya. Rumor has it that, well, Banana H, he's looking for new challenges. He's put the Fear of God in everybody when he played his Ana, then he switched into Deckard Cain, and at some point he said, what else can I do that will challenge me a little bit? And the answer was, let's play Brightwing. No, but again, the setup here works because they have the Medivh. Medivh is helping with a lot of the weaknesses here, and they need the polymorph, or at least they wanted to. A little bit more interesting is that level 1 pick for Wit. I mean, what is that? Legion of Beetles? Really? I'm a little bit surprised by that, to say the least. Honestly, I want to see what exactly they're going to do with that, because Beetle build on a Nubarak, I mean, that's a hell no from my end. So let's find out how deep he's going to go into that rabbit hole. Outside of that, we got the Ether Walk on level 1 for Li Ming. And, well, a lot of pressure in the middle already. They're 5-manning that shit. So Sonya's trying to push out the top, and Greymane is still sitting at the side here, but they're really trying to apply a little bit of pressure at this point. And already Nick is trying to go for the Siege Giants. I think they saw him too, but they won't be able to do a whole lot about it. Dino has gone for an auto-attack build with the Season's Marksman on level 1. Obviously, it will still be a Boomerang pick on level 7, since he also, in that global lineup, wants to have that as a tool for them. A little bit of pressure play at the bottom, or at least the attempt of one. Siege Giants have been taken on both sides, and now it's a focus onto the top camp. I mean, one of the best things, honestly, about these camp picks sometimes is when you have on the other side someone trying to invade it and take it. We've seen this multiple times in the past, and it's always absolutely hilarious. So we'll see how this game is going to unfold here. But there's definitely a couple of interesting choices being made here already, as is. Sonya on the level 1 now with the Warpaint. We got the Portal Mastery for Medivh. Going to keep an eye on Hazops and his stacks. Triumvirate, pretty much standard for Li Ming these days. And with the level 4 choices, we now got the Shed Exoskeleton and also Hammer Gains. So yeah, so far so good. I mean, nothing really too insane. Of course, Indomitable for Garrosh. It's kind of standard what you have to go for if you really want to be successful with the hero. And move. Oh, he actually dodged out on that one. Tries to throw Blade in, but Masquerade going for the Juke Master award right here. Trying to dodge out on it. Good push topside though. That first tower is already down. That's actually really well done by them. They're getting a lot of value through this camp, and taking structures down before the objective has even spawned is fantastic now. So yeah, this is actually quite neat. At the same point, we currently have at the bottom of the map Falstad flying straight into the middle. And Nick is still holding on to experience here, whereas topside, as you can see, the push is now starting to go the other way. Feel the Heat gets pressured a little bit. But the timing on that camp was just better. They were just right there, could take those structures down. That's a huge advantage topside already. Blade, then again, is in a bit of trouble, especially since he can't bunker up just yet. But Brightwing is the first one to fall. The Fruit Fly gets eliminated by Li Ming as they are jumping in for it. And yeah, that's at least a good start for that. Nick is alone at the bottom of the map. They won't do him the favor of staying away, so he won't be able to go full-on Worgen form on structures. Falstad is already rotating in, but the blue team has now taken control over the top temple in addition to that. So a good opening for Feel the Heat. They kind of woke up a bit after the first game. It was kind of the wake-up call, at least that's what it feels like. Game number 2 was completely different, and here now also taking a slight advantage. As expected, here's the Boomerang. 15 stacks, by the way, already on the level 1 for Falstad, so these rotations between the bot and the mid lane have done him a lot of good when it comes to the stacking process. So he's gonna have this very, very quickly. Attack on the other hand as they're trying to fight for the temple. Here comes the move through the portal as they're also retreating, especially on Masquerade's side. He's a bit low. Brightwing comes for the heal. 5 versus 5 setup, and the top fort has already fallen. The advantage definitely going to Feel the Heat right now. And they're even trying to get a couple of these points of the temple in the middle, and they're succeeding. If they can keep everybody alive and maybe even get a kill, that would be fantastic. Noob is down, but they get the counter kill against Garrosh. Li Ming gets the reset, can't connect the second combo, but they're getting more and more shots connected towards the middle, and that's actually fantastic for Feel the Heat. Feel the Heat is absolutely crushing this early game. Guys, that's a fountain that gets eliminated in a moment. A little bit more damage against the fort itself. The wall is gone. Top fort is also down. That's fantastic. Feel the Heat has dominated this game so far. It doesn't look like much if you just look at experience and kills, but once that you check the minimap and you see really the damage against structures, it's a big difference. So they are entire fort ahead right now, and it all started with that camp topside when they went with the bruisers onto the wall and tore the entire thing apart. So now they're only half a level away from 10, which means that they have a slight advantage. They could in theory even go for boss, honestly. With level 10, if they already move down to the bottom of the map before it happens, they could theoretically go for boss. They got a Mighty Gust available, they got a Cocoon, and yeah, they're already starting to work on it. They go for boss because they know they get level 10 any second, and with them having a bunker available, a Cocoon, and a Mighty Gust, that's so much zone control, there's pretty much no chance for Washed Up to fight around it. Washed Up can't fight this. So they're trying to fight, and the fight gets immediately forced. Here comes the seven-sided. They let the boss leash for now. Mighty Gust failing a little bit here, but they got the kill in, and now they're trying to go for Hazu. Hazu is down. The stacks are getting reset. So that was a slap in the face to Washed Up. They got a little bit slapped around in this one. Not only did Hazu lose his stacks on Medivh, they also lost 2 heroes, and they still lose the boss. So that was definitely unnecessary. When your opponent has level 10, you do not want to go into these fights. Washed Up's goal was obviously to dodge the fight and just simply distract them, but now we have heroic abilities on both sides. But it's still the same. Feel the Heat has taken a significant advantage in this game. Yeah, significant advantage right now. So they're starting to make their way through. We currently have also Calamity in, and with the objective at the bottom of the map, they are attempting to get another setup here. But this time they need to be a little bit careful. This is kind of neat though. This is a good push for Dino, because Dino, what he's going to do is he's got... Oh, actually he doesn't. I was expecting him to take another minion wave. Maybe he makes his way over. Yeah, okay, he goes up again, I think, before he moves back down. And then he can just simply burst this out and try to push the top lane. And then they can still force the fight at the bottom of the map if they really wanted to. But they have a lot of wiggle room right now. They can play the macro game. They can try to go into more aggression on those camps. I mean, there's a fight happening already as we're having another camp stolen. That's a double camp push topside. Guys, this is insane damage against the topside. They need to go back. They need to get the... They need to defend top. Someone has to retreat, and they're not doing this right now. Brightwing might come in, but that's a double camp plus 2 heroes pushing through this. This keep is going to suffer. Brightwing is back, but the fight at the bottom of the map is still continuing, and they're trying to go for Nick. He barely gets away here. Gets saved in the last second. Even the ley line comes out, but it doesn't change. The top side is already losing the entire wall. Brightwing is still trying to defend this, but the camp is still moving through. The last few shots at the bottom are obviously lost, and this is going to take at least the fountain down, might even be a little bit more. And of course, with the commitment topside and the talent disadvantage for Washed Up, it means there is more space on the map that allows Feel the Heat to, for example, take this camp, maybe even get some additional pressure onto the bottom fort and take it down too. So there's a lot of stuff happening now for Feel the Heat. And it's a problem. Every time you can take a structure down without the help of an objective on Sky Temple, you are in a good spot. And Feel the Heat is doing this all over the place right now. There's another push coming through. It's 4 kills to 1, but really, the plays are being made by the blue team. Those Siege Giants still doing work. That's a huge amount of damage that was already done here. I don't think the fort falls, but it doesn't have to. They're still looking great with this. And yeah, they are just taking these things down wherever they go. Fountain down, wall destroyed, damage on the keep, mid lane, everything destroyed. Fort also nearly eliminated. Dino put in a corner a little bit. Do not tell me he gets away. Nah, he doesn't. But Masquerade might fall for it. Brightwing just exploded. Oh my god. Brightwing came in and got insta-killed there. Absolutely insta-kill. The problem is that Nick might still fall here, and yes, he does. Nicely done. Nick down. Feel the Heat is just chasing them. It's pretty impressive. Game number 1, they got slapped around. It was insane. And now we're looking at the third game. And not only did they win map number 2, but they are dominant in the third game as well. Another fountain, another fort destroyed, and they go into the middle to drop the next one too. The next objective is announced as well. This is 2-level leads. They are 5 kills ahead. What a series all of a sudden for Feel the Heat. Did not expect this after game number 1. I did not see this coming. Game number 1 was such a beatdown, and now we're looking at Feel the Heat just finding the rhythm, playing a very solid and disciplined game here. 24,000 damage for Liming, 17k for Greymane. Falstad has already taken to the bottom of the map to get the shots. And let's not forget that they are nearly on level 16. So they will look at a talent advantage as this continues here. 16 is in. And, well, can they maybe get a kill here? Masquerade is a little bit deep. Needs to be real careful. Right Wing comes in to help out. Falstad, the bird is moving in. The bird wants the kill, nearly falls, but they take down Dequaza on Sonya. Sonya's already eliminated. Now the 7-sided comes through again. They're still trying to go for the next kill, and they are getting even more shots fired. The talent advantage allows them to do that easily. Fawcett is on his way back down to the bottom of the map. Actually, flies back in, tries for the Mighty Gust angle. Leyline is already out. Nick has to be cautious, but is so far still fine. Hazu, kill against Liming. There's that. Greymane popping off a little bit and getting a second kill too. Nick with a double for the team right here. Brightwing is dead on the other hand, and that's a 3 versus 4 on the map with more points now fired against the red team. Do they get the final few shots? Yes, they do. More pressure against the middle of the map here. Another set of structures already down, but there's a few remaining at the bottom that they could still grab. But of course, there's also the push up at the top against their keep. And someone has to deal with that. And it seems like Greymane is going to be the one to try and stop this. Nick is moving in for the extra experience. Might still be a little bit of damage against the keep. And again, every single point matters. So they get some done here. First fort, by the way, falling now bot side. Feel the Heat is losing the first fort in this game. And Masquerade, he's feeling the heat. He realizes that there's a good chance that they're on the way to him. But they're actually sitting topside trying to get this one. Nick is now moving in. That's making it interesting. And Nuparak is there too. This is going to be the big one. It's going to be a big fight here. Yeah, they let it go though. Okay. And here comes the portal. They're trying to make the play. 16 versus 16. They're bunkering it up already. Blade, careful. Bunker nearly down. X-Ray is moving back too. Cocoon gets dropped too as everybody's trying to rush away from this one. Only the bird is missing. Everybody is here and Dino is starting to fly in slowly but steadily. Good combo. Mighty Gust. Solid portal control right here. That was an important one. Without that gust, that could have been a bit of a problem. But they are able to escape. Camp topside has been taken by Washed Up. They haven't given up on this game yet. Hazu, by the way, is diligently trying to get the stacks on level 1 together. He got killed earlier and lost everything he had. Now he's back to 25. Obviously still 15 away, but still has a chance. Spray game on point. Spray game on point as Brightwing blinks heal away. 5 more stacks are missing for Falster to complete his auto-attack quest on level 1, which will give him the activatable. Medivh is doing what he does best, cheating, moving around and providing vision while being completely outside of attacking range. So Brightwing is taken towards the top, trying to get some global value. Down at the bottom, they're making the play for Sonya. 7-sided, but they're fine. Brightwingers coming in as well. Washed Up, they still got a chance here. They still have an opportunity. This, on the other hand, the Beetlejuiced over here, the additional health. I mean, Epicenter, high. If you already want to go for a setup with a Liming follow-up and 7-sided strike, like, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of Wit's build here just yet. Then again, it's Wit, so we'll see if he busts this out a little bit more often in the future and convince me at some point. But Epic Enter on level 16 is just a must-have for a reason usually. So let's see how much he can get out of those beetles. Nice control here on the point. They're trying to go for it. Here comes the attack. Oh my god, they're really going for everything that they have here. The kill against Garrosh. The kill again. Oh, the leyline steal. The leyline steal, baby. And the boss is taken by Washed Up. Oh, Garrosh dying, and then they steal it away with a ley line. That was absolutely perfect. Leyline comes in. Nubarok was already incredibly low and barely managed to get away from it. But it's a Leyline steal against them, and now a bit of momentum for Washed Up through the bottom of the map. Li Ming is trying to take care of it. We currently have at least a bit of temple control for Daineo, and honestly, this is looking more and more as if we're gonna at least see the first key bot side fall. Top side, on the other hand, X-Ray is a little bit in trouble. Bottom keep is about to go down. Nubarak is doing what he can here. And yep, first keep is eliminated. Do they have enough shots here to get the second keep too? Guys, they might just have it. Oh, that's going to be close. I don't think they have it. Ah, clutch, 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 clutch. Hazu's about to die. Hazu goes down, and again, he doesn't have the stacks. He was at 33, and then he gets eliminated. And they are trying for a follow-up kill, and they get it too. Now, the wind tunnel, even the level 20 talents are just so powerful at this point. We have Blaze already moving through the bottom of the map, taking the keep in the middle down, and they are starting to go also for the core here. Wow. What a setup again. I mean, a little bit of a battle here in the middle. Apparently, Sonia wants a bit of chicken, but she's just trying... I mean, Dino's just trying to keep her away as much as he can. Dino might die, but it doesn't really matter, because down here, that's where the real music plays. Catapult, by the way, that driver needs to be fired. I mean, that guy can't even ride around those siege giants. But as you can tell, this is game. Feel the heat. 2-0. 2-1. 2-1 lead in this best of 5 against Washed Up. Impressive. Game number 1, again, Feel the Heat got spanked so hard. If there was a forfeit button in this game, they would have just said, just take the best of 5. We don't want to have any more of that. And all of a sudden, they win game number 2. They look much better. They go into game number 3, play a fantastic series here as well. And now they are in the lead with a 2-1 and fight on all direct paths for the victory in this best of 5 here at the winner bracket. So, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I didn't expect that to happen. Think about the first game. Blade alone died 9 times in the first game. 9 times. He nearly made it into the double digits. They didn't get a single kill, and they just brought it back. They shrugged it off and said, like, whatever, game 1 doesn't count, screw Volskaya, let's make it work. Now we're heading into all direct pass. We have again the opening ban against Zul. We saw the continuous ban against Urel, who's just an absolute powerhouse on that off lane. She gets banned again. The hero is so impactful right now in the current meta and is absolutely crushing. And of course, then we're coming back to the questions that we had throughout this entire series so far. What happens around Medivh? Does he get banned? Does he get played? He was available twice, got picked twice, won one of the games. Gets banned again. Cassia is still open. Potential ban. Imperius. Potential ban. Ana. Same thing. But they go for Cassia. So Cassia gets eliminated. That leaves us with still a couple of really good heroes for this. And it's a big map too. Which means that on all direct pass we could see a couple of globals. But slightly different setup. Nick with Tracer. Okay. Time for them to jump in and get a bit of Tracer action going here. I like that. That's something that we, of course, expected more or less from Dino, and he did it in game number 1, unsuccessfully, I might add. But now we have Nick trying to give them a taste of their own medicine here, and we have, again, X-Ray on Karazim, this time together with Imperius. Okay, all Monk style right now. Karazim was always a bit of a fun one. When Karazim was introduced back in the day, and then we had teams starting to try him as a melee assassin. LOL for Fnatic back then, going real old school here, trying to do that. That was during one of the Swedish tournaments. It was pretty neat, but yeah, these days obviously in that role he can still do a lot of damage, but is obviously the main support still. They got Kane, Banana H playing him, and Masquerade is gracing us with our first ETC appearance in this one. Okay, so what else are we going to get? It's coming back to the next few bans here. And on alt direct pass, I could definitely see Deathwing, for example, being banned again. We all know that Blade likes to play Deathwing whenever he can. This is a big map, and Deathwing can be very annoying here. At the same time, now we have Junkrat Banned out against Hazu. So there's that. They want to execute their combos, and whenever that mine comes through and you're trying to go for the Junkrat displacement, you can ruin combos quite easily. So there's that. And let's see what the ban is. Is it going to be a ban against Deathwing? Or are they focusing on something else here? You have to remember, Ultralisk is also still on the other side. Ultralisk is still playing heroes like Maiev. He's still playing heroes like Kerrigan. Is that something that they're concerned about? There's a lot of stun already available. But it's the Deathwing ban. As already mentioned previously, would be a good one here. And Deathwing gets banned out. So, that kind of focuses our eyes a little bit on Ultralisk. Hammer time! Okay! Sergeant Hammer with a face mask too, look at that! Hammer with a face mask right here, socially distancing, staying in the tank the entire time, wearing a face mask. That's exactly... the WHO would be proud. But now that we're heading into our final picks for Washed Up, let's see how they're going to try and counter that. Going up against Sergeant Hammer here, maybe if they also pick into some blinds. Also, keep the Cassia ban in mind. That's already one blind removed as they went up against this. Obviously with the Hammer pick already in mind. Rexa and Chromie! Okay, Chromie is back in. And, well, let's go. Good auto attacks also against Tracer, obviously, thanks to Sergeant Hammer. But what is Dino's pick here on the last one? What are we going to get from him? He's the X factor right now for them. Needs a little bit more damage. And we have a big map. We get Chromie and Tracer that he would like to take down probably. And it is... Zeratul! Yep. Okay. Zeratul and Sergeant Hammer. Guys, we got a fun one in front of us. Aldrich Pass, map number 4. Does the series end here? Or is Washed Up forcing a 5th map in the winner bracket final? We're going to find out right now on Aldrich Pass. Game number 4. We are on Aldrich Pass and on the left side. Feel the heat. In the lead with X-Ray on Karazim. Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer. We got Blaze played by Blade. And at the same time now also Zeratul played by Dainu. And Wit on Imperius. Alright, so off to a decent start here on the setup. Zeratul with a lot of damage. Sergeant Hammer with the pressure against Tracer played by Nick on Washed Up side. Masquerade with ETC. We got Dequaza on Rexa. Banana Agent got Kane. And Hazorps on Chromie. The Chromester over here. Yay! Shut up. Kinky. She annoys that shit way too much, but Chromie was always a little bit on the kinky side, and Sergeant Hammer on the more annoying side. Well, it's true for Chromie too, but Ultralisk is already shelling away against the structures down at the bottom of the map now. So at this point, here comes the next setup. They're trying to go for Masquerade. Already Chromie with a little bit of damage coming in. Trying to connect those dragon breaths here. Not just yet. And top side, that's what we currently have, is Zeratul. Dino can pop off in this game once again. Went for the cleave on level 1. Likely going to only add his level 16 cleave talent later on in the game. And here comes the block party for the front line. Again, you're going up against Sergeant Hammer. You're going up against a hero like X-Rays, Karazim. You have also Imperius and Zeratul there. There's a lot of auto attack value that you want to shut down as quickly as you can. So there's that. Now, towards the top, we currently have Dino still playing the solo lane against Dequaza. A lot of Rexa, actually. For me personally, Rexa was always one of the heroes that was probably the most surprise... The biggest surprise after HGC was killed by Blizzard, that hero made it this far into the meta. It's always one of those heroes where it was just like, yeah, I just don't really see him happen in competitive play outside of Dragonshire or maybe Braxis, where he obviously always excelled with the macro that he brought to the solo lane. But yeah, he has been a huge staple over the last 1.5 years, and very, very interesting to see him always being an option, at least for the teams. Now, with the continuous damage from Ultralisk on Hammer, he of course waits for level 7. That's where Sergeant Hammer really becomes powerful because of the Hover Siege mode. That's going to be a big one. Bottom of the map, Dino is now trying to shift things up a little bit since he's going up against Tracer alone. That gives him also a bit more kill potential since against Rexa and Misha he doesn't really have any of that. And Ultralisk still sitting tight and waiting around for level 7. But so far, it's a bit of a slow development here. So nobody is really making any big moves just yet. They're obviously trying to get a bit of damage in and hoping for a kill. And they might just grab the first one. Masquerade is low, but they can't quite get the kill. They're trying for the counter, though. Wit is low, but with Blaze coming in, they were able to lock them out, and that was pretty solid here. Wit is able to survive, so is ETC, the two of them both fairly low, but no kill yet. So 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes into the game, we still are waiting for the first blood to come in. And in the middle, we have more action coming as Nick is trying to go for the kill against Blade and successfully locks it in. Blade down, that's the first kill for Washed Up, and they are immediately focusing their attention to the objective as they're trying to get that done, but they get interrupted once more. That lockdown, on the other hand, nearly killed Ultralisk. Sits right next to the fountain and can tap it quickly, but that could have been his demise if all of the damage connected there. So now X-Ray is moving in and is trying to counter that and hope that they don't get the Raiders just yet. Dino is on his way now too. It's a 5 versus 5 on the map again. Chromie just shelling the shit out of them from the back line continuously, but they recovered the prisoner camp for now. And level 7, still everybody waiting for it. And that's a huge power spike then, in particular, for the blue team, for reasons mentioned earlier. Sergeant Hammer just adds so more value to any kind of team composition once she picks up her level 7. We first of all also got the locked and loaded now in for Tracer. That's obviously always a big one. The camp gets taken again once it's off cooldown from both teams. No problem there either. And now we have the Hover Siege mode. Time to shine. The Seek and the Dark gets picked up for Zeratul. We're going to see the Might of the Nerazim picked on level 10 as usual. And now, this is where the game really kind of starts. Once that level 7 is in, once that you're talking about objective, that the teams are getting a little bit more eager to get those raiders or the cavalry, and there's more tools for the teams available to get the kills in. Obviously, as we're heading into heroic abilities, this is even more so true. But over here, Ultralisk able to get the damage in now. Yeah, Hammer becomes incredibly difficult to deal with at this point. And obviously they need to be a bit careful that Masquerade isn't able to slide in and look Ultralisk down. But they are inching forward slowly but steadily through the middle in an attempt to push this out. And there's a lot of commitment already happening over here. Yeah, X-Ray is trying to jump away. No chance for him. Gets locked down by Chromie in the temporal loop, and that's the kill. It was initially a good idea for Feel the Heat to really put Washed Up in a spot that needed to defend the mid lane. It allowed Zeratul at the bottom to be very aggressive against this, and we saw a very similar situation at the top lane as well with Blaze. But now that Karazim is dead, obviously Washed Up can focus their attention on the objective. So this entire buying time aspect and trying to get structural damage connected did not quite work out for them. The interrupts are still going strong on the other hand, and are buying time for Karazim to come back, who's now back to business. The problem is that Blade is in a bit of trouble. They're trying to turn it against Misha and get at least a kill there, so that's something at least. Problematic is only that they're losing the objective one way or another here. They just don't have the resources to force the big fight now. So they have to face the music. They're at least taking the camp in the middle. Dino is already moving away, but that's Washed Up with a bit of a lead. Problematic is only the experience. They are slightly behind, which means that now we're looking at level 10 abilities for Feel the Heat, and that helps them with the defense, of course, significantly, but at least it should. Might of the Nerazim is in. Tracer is down. Dino with a solo kill at the bottom against Tracer. Nicely done. Nearly falling, but still he gets the kill, and at the perfect time, just now as the Raiders are moving in. We're seeing that happen. Okay. We have at the same time also the bunker drop. We got the blunt force gun. And still a 4 topside likely to fall, since Blade alone won't be able to hold their back. But now that the rest of the team is rotating in, they might just be able to defend it after all. Gonna be clutch though, but that Raider is not going to be able to do too much. All the forts are still in play. Dino is busy at the bottom defending the last one. We don't have Imperius with the talent pick yet. But we still have in the middle another camp that needs to be defended, and that's what they're going for right now. Alright. Still a close one. I mean, again, for Washed Up, this is important, right? If they lose here, this is the first match point for Feel the Heat. So a loss would mean that Washed Up is going to drop down into the loser's bracket and has to fight their way through the loser bracket to potentially end up in the grand final against Feel the Heat again. But if in any way possible, you're obviously trying to avoid that. So can Washed Up force game number 5? That's the big question. Wid is taking all the damage of Chromie, who by now should actually be pretty high up on the damage numbers. And yes, indeed she is. 18,000 is what we currently have. Blade and X-Ray still sitting at the top. And there's not really too much action happening just yet. I mean, we got bosses now up, but that nobody has really taken a big lead yet. There's small advantages that the team are edging out, a little bit of experience here, a little bit of structural damage there, but it's nothing insane yet. That momentum train hasn't left the station yet. Here's the ult though, as they're trying to lock them in. Dino is dead, murdered by Chromie. Hazuops is doing a great job here. It's the second kill that he got for the team. They took down X-Ray earlier. And now they have the opportunity to go for the fort or for the boss, and they're trying to. Problematic is that the boss is not going to do a whole lot because we're only 8.5 minutes into the game, and Ultralisk is sitting at the bottom of the map and is saying, hey, if you take the boss topside and nobody is trying to deal with me, then I'm just going to shit on your fort. Let's see how you like that. And as I said, this boss is not going to do a whole lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, looks good, but what is that boss going to do? Seriously. The keep is dead anyways, and it's not going to damage the keep. Sorry, the fort is down anyways, and the keep is not going to be damaged. So Ultralisk nearly gets the same damage through at the bottom of the map, and with Wit he does exactly that. They take the fort down, now they can go for the defense, so removing that boss from the top lane is definitely not a bad thing, but this early in the game, it's not going to do enough. So, yeah. It's always nice when you see a boss being taken, but it's not like we are 20 minutes into the game just yet. So they're not really committing to that either, but you can see how quickly this thing is actually falling. So yeah, it's not going to do too much for them. Same time now though, boss is taken at the bottom of the map. And by the way, just to clarify this, I'm not criticizing that they took the boss in the first place, it's just they traded the boss for a bottom 4. So that trade doesn't really do a whole lot for you. That's all I'm saying here. Taking the boss, as you see here, that's kind of neat. Now, this is free damage. Problem is that there's also a kill coming through. Well, is there? Blade? Is he gonna get away? Yeah, he is, and the fight still continues. There's the blunt force gun. Hazuops with a timeout, and they're still trying to go for the kill here. Hazu is dead. Goodbye, Chromie. She tried to get the kill. Couldn't make that work. Boss is still moving down through the bottom, is probably opening up the wall, but there's a lot of things going wrong for Washed Up now. Not only do they have to deal with the boss, but they also have to deal with the prisoner camp here, which gets taken. So yeah, more and more problems incoming. Boss, again, still early, is going to take the wall, if so, but it's really more about the prisoner camp that is now getting attacked here, and the advantage and experience that we have for Feel the Heat, which will lead itself to an early level 16 talent for them, so another small problem in these setups. Objective, on the other hand, not really taken yet, so we're not quite there yet, but as I said, with level 16 talents, this is going to be a bit different. Now on 13, we got the hyper cooling engines once again. We also have the Quicksilver at this point. With the 13 talent, Chromie has already started to head straight into her level 16, of course. Top side. That fort is also taking more and more damage as the middle of the map becomes a center of attention for both teams. Obviously, they're both eager to get the next wave connected here. And Dino is always now looking for kill opportunities. Dino's going to be looking into that back line and then see if he can, with the might of the Narazim, just connect that damage. Once they have level 16 and he gets his next cleave talent, that's going to be more so the case. Hazu wants the kill and nearly gets it. Nick wants to complete it. Oh, and there it is. Gets the kill connected. Well played. Beautiful setup again, by the way. So yeah, big shout out. That was a huge one. And they get Blaze as well. Look at this kill setup again. Chromie, that was the initial setup with Chromie and then the follow-up on Deckard Cain, and then they really go deep with Tracer in order to lock the kill in. And all of that just happens before level 16 was ready. So now that the talent advantage is there for Feel the Heat, they can't do anything with it because they are only with 3 heroes present on the map, and they lose the objective. This could have gone so bad for Washed Up, but thanks to those 2 kills, they are now in a great position. The level 16 talents, on the other hand, are obviously a very big power spike for Feel the Heat. They now got the Siege Giant, the Giant Killer on level 16, and we got the Void Slash plus also the Cleansing Touch. That's going to be incredibly important. Cleansing Touch against this lineup is a little bit bonkers. That's honestly incredible. He will be able to have such an impact in these fights if he uses that properly. So we should see exactly that. There's already the first one coming in, trying with another one, and all of a sudden these Chromie setups are not really worth a whole lot anymore. Every single time the temporal loop came out before, it was a massive problem for Feel the Heat. Now with Karazim around, it's going to be much easier to handle it. But they still need to deal with those raiders, and they are packing a punch, as you can see. Yeah, there's the first one trying to defend it in the middle. At the top, there's also a bit of a problem. Bottom 4 is likely going to fall too. 7-sided strike is already coming in as they're trying to go for the kill. X-Ray is low. BFG comes through, and they're trying to make the play with Dino here. But the bunker is also eliminated. Blade still on the move. Very little damage of Chromie connects. And they hold the fort in the middle. Up at the top, the same is happening. Ultralisk is holding on to it. Bottom fort gets taken. 5 kills to 2 for Washed Up at this point. Yeah, 33,000 damage for Chromie, but the top numbers are now in the hands of Sergeant Hammer with 37,000. You have Zeratul on 17k, and on top of that, Imperius with 21,000. 26,000 for Nick on Tracer, as they're trying to get their setup here, but it is a spicy 4th game. And now, going for the boss here, that is changing things quite a bit. So all of a sudden, that is doing way, way more. Zeratul immediately moving out, but they know that the boss is there, and they're trying to contest. Blade is a little bit slow on the other hand, so I'm not quite sure if they can be there in time. They're already trying to zone them out here. Boss is taken for free, and now that we're 14 minutes into the game, this is a little bit better. But look at it, cleanse again on Wit, and that was the important one. Getting those cleanses in, super important. Moshpit didn't do anything either here, so that's already a few ults that have been used, and that didn't do anything for them. But that boss is still moving through the top of the map in an attempt to get that keep, of course, and they need to deal with that. Yeah, it is a spicy game. It's a little bit more coordinated and a bit slower than the games before, but I gotta say that this is still very, very close one. And of course, Feel the Heat doesn't want to go to a 5th map, and who blames them? I mean, they always went up against Washed Up in the finals of these qualifiers, and it was a tough battle for them every single time it happened. Now the boss is trying to take the keep down, and they really want to hold on to this one. Dino's just sitting there with Zeratul and giving him the wobble blades time and time again, so the side blades. Down to the bottom of the map, the double boss play attempt. Zeratul is now starting to move down to the bottom of the map. Cleanse again. That cleansing touch is so important. Cleansing touch with a blinding speed on level 7 is just absolutely clutch. But Blade goes down just as Zeratul finally arrives and turns it into a 5 versus 5. Good damage from Ultralisk. They're still trying to get the counter kill. Nick is able to move out. Auto attack hits, yes or no, it doesn't matter, and they are focusing their attention again on the bottom boss. Washed Up is pulling everything on the line here. They're doing what they can to come back into this game. Or into this series. And they are really doing well. They get the boss top, they rotate down, they take the bottom boss, they are ahead in experience, the objective is gonna be up on the map for them to take. If they get the level 20, it's gonna help them a lot. I just don't really know if once that we're hitting level 20, they're not going to struggle here, because the Ultra Capacitors for Sergeant Hammer are going to be incredibly impactful. Zeratul will even be more powerful. Same is also true for the bunker once it's fortified. So if Feel the Heat can hold on to the game, Sergeant Hammer might just be too impactful in those late game fights whenever they are forced. Because right now, with the bosses taken, Washed Up was able to dictate the pace completely and made Feel the Heat react to wherever they moved on the map. And now I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Because once the level 20 talents are in, which is now the case, they can really fight back here. And 20 isn't ready yet. But at the same time, Dino, oh, the bunker! Oh my god, that was so clutch. Dino nearly dying. But he survives. They're trying to go for the fight. There's already the transgression as they're going in again. But the kill against Blade. These fights are so awkward at times. It feels like they're just trying too hard. They're moving in too soon. They're trying too hard. And now they're losing even more heroes. Zeratul is dead too. And that's an insane amount of momentum for Washed Up. They are just forcing it too hard. Like, I don't know. It feels like they're in a great position, and then you can really tell that they feel the pressure, I think. And they feel they have to force it. Now they're losing so much on the map, and of course the objective is also going to turn against Feel the Heat. The top keep has already been lost. This might have just been it. A little bit too greedy, too fast, and yeah, not cautious enough. They could play this a little bit slower, and they haven't done any of that. So now we're heading straight in. Sergeant Hammer is dead, and that's just staggered deaths all around. There's another double kill, and this is going to be the end of it. Objective or no objective, it doesn't really matter anymore. This was the setup that they needed. They come in with the kills, and this is just looking fantastic. We're going to see a 5th game. There's no doubt anymore. 2 armor shields are already moved. There's only 2 heroes there for the defense now that Zeratul is back. But they're going for Blade, and he's going to fall. Zeratul kills Tracer, though. Nicely done. Good job. But it's not going to save him the game. He kills Chromie, too, on the other hand. Together with the boss here. But I still don't think that they will be able to defend this. So as it stands, we are headed into map number 5, ladies and gentlemen, as Washed Up takes the victory on Alterac Pass. Game number 5, our first series on day number 2 already goes the full distance. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map, and this could be spicy. Unfortunately, I think that Kerrigan is going to be banned out here. I would love to see Nyx Kerrigan come out on this one. It is the chance for Washed Up to win the series after all, so that would be actually pretty awesome. And here is the ETC ban already as things start to come up. Okay. Yeah, so ETC gets immediately banned out, which is actually, it's already a little bit interesting because so far we had a certain pattern. We had Zul banned out, we had Urel banned out, and then after that it was mostly Cassia that they looked at, a few of the other heroes too, but now with ETC coming into the ban pattern, it means that some of those heroes will have to move into the pick phase. Zul is still getting banned. I would assume that Urel is eliminated in the next moment. It's a first pick, first ban now for Feel the Heat, so it's actually kind of likely that Feel the Heat doesn't ban Urel. If they want to pick her on the early slots, they would leave it up to Washed Up to ban the hero out. Medivh is of course someone that has been banned multiple times right now, but even he is now left open. They ban Imperius instead. And yeah, that makes this one a little bit more interesting. I mean, again, it's subtle nuances that you see within the draft, but it's going to have a huge impact onto the pick phase and the priorities that teams give certain heroes. So with Imperius already banned out and ETC2, that's some of the CC that is already gone. And theoretically speaking, we might even end up in a scenario where Urel makes it through the ban phase and is available. And that's the case. They ban Johanna instead. So a lot of the wave clear is gone, and now you have to make the choice if you actually want to go and pick Urel early, and they decide against it. They pick that Medivh. We talked about him a lot, and we talked about Ultralisk being a good Medivh player too. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. So all of a sudden, all of this is kind of changed a little bit, because now you're looking at a position from Washed Up's perspective where they can go into Urel if they feel they have the wave clear through the other heroes. Oftentimes you put Johanna into a main tank position because you get a lot of wave clear that allows you to pick other heroes that don't necessarily have it. Urel is in, Cassia is in too, so that's 2 strong heroes already. Question is of course still remaining if Nick is gonna go into Kerrigan at some point. Or now that they committed to the first rotation, we're gonna have the next ban phase coming in, and there's an opportunity for Feel the Heat to ban Kerrigan out. Even if Kerrigan makes it through though, it's gonna be a bit more difficult for Nick to connect combos since Medivh can always supply the shield. So there's a couple of really nice aspects to it now in the way that this is shaping up here. And Blade is committing to a very early Blaze here, so there's already layered defenses that they have with the shield on Medivh, with the bunker play after level 10 through Blaze. Ana is now in, she can provide the nano boost once that we are in a situation there. And yeah, it's already starting to become an interesting setup. Question is a little bit also what Dino is going to play. And if you have Medivh, you can really go into one of these hyper carry scenarios where you can play way more aggressively as a damage dealer. Garrosh gets banned, so there's no ley line into Garrosh Taunt, Blaze, stuns and whatnot. And here comes the big one. Kerrigan banned, yes or no? Is that a hero that is still open for Nick to play? Or do they just say, nah, we're gonna ban Deckard Cain instead. We're gonna ban a side laner. We're gonna ban a main tank. So yeah, they could still ban quite a few of those. And time's gonna tell. Couple of seconds left for them, but the choice is Deckard Cain. They ban the old man. That leaves Kerrigan open. Malfurion is still a solid pick if you want to go for Malf on the pick pattern. And, of course, they need also a little bit more main tank action too. And this is gonna get interesting now, because Nick is probably gonna pick late. Normally he picks last. It's a more flexible version of picking for them. So we're gonna see Diablo, and what is the support side? Lucio. Okay, he's gonna lull around a little bit over here. It's also a little bit of portal control that he has. Whenever someone wants to enter the portal, Lucio can come in and boop him back, and then he might be able to get the kill. Dino and Greymane. And Malthael gets played. Blaze is gonna put in a main tank position. Blade and Wit are likely gonna swap heroes here. Nick on the last pick. Is it his Kerrigan? First time that he actually played Kerrigan in competitive play again was on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So they could do that right now. They got Urel Diablo, and there is a chance for Nick to go into Kerrigan if they rely on Cassia as the only range damage in this lineup. It's Junkrat on the other hand. Okay, could even switch this over. But yeah, Junkrat is in. And that's the draft for our last game in this series, in this winner bracket final. Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump in and see which team advances to the grand final and which team has to fight their way through the losers bracket. Game number 5, Tomb of the Spider Queen, X-Ray on Ana for Feel the Heat, the blue team with Dino and Greymane, Ultralisk on Medivh, Wit on Blaze, and Blade on Malthael. And on the right side of the map, washed up, they have Banana, H on Lucio, and Hazorps on Junkrat. Both of these heroes are going to be great to control portal plays. So once that Medivh sets the portal up, these two are very, very good to try and make sure that nobody enters these portals with the displacement that they have. We have Masquerade playing Diablo, Nick on Cassia, and Dequaza playing the Night Vision alternate account. He is playing Urel in this game. And it should be fun. This is the final map in the best of 5 series. One of these teams will advance to the grand final early, and the other team has another chance to reach the grand final through the losers bracket. So, already with the level 1 abilities, we got the Feast on Fear. And let's see if Masquerade can put that fear into the hearts of the blue team's players or not. Also, can Ultralisk stack the baseline for Medivh, or is he gonna get wrecked as Hazo did earlier in one of the games here? We currently look at our bot lane as usual. Yeah, portal players are already there, but again, Banana H is going to try and do exactly that. Boop the back into the damage setups. If they can combo it off with Hazorps as well, that's obviously even better. In this case, it didn't really work out that way, but they always have a chance to try and make that happen. Not quite though in this instance, but always of course an opportunity there. So right now, 11 stacks already for Hazu on Cassia. Sorry, for Nick on Cassia, which is obviously pretty solid. I mean, it's really a lot of the early game stacking on Cassia that is going to matter there. Once level 10 abilities are in, you can of course still stack in big team fights, but you also have to be a bit more careful since your opponent will have a lot more tools available to lock you down and get a coordinated kill executed. But especially in the early stages, when you have those 4-man rotations between the middle and the top, you can get some serious stacking going. But instead, we currently have the Siege Giants taken at the bottom of the map. Washed Up realizes it a little bit too late and is not able to claim them. Ana in trouble, Ana in a lot of trouble. X-Ray is dead, and they might get a follow-up kill too, but they're just falling back instead. But that was exactly what I talked about earlier. You control the portals, you control the placement. Ana doesn't have any escape tools in the first place, so that was a problem. Our main tank Blaze up at the top was at least able to escort one of the minion waves straight into the tower range. So there's that. We have level 4 ready for both teams. And things are starting to develop here a bit. We have gems turned in already. Dequaza is trying to make it work here too. Gets interrupted by Ultralisk. It's always so annoying, right? I mean, you're sitting in a good spot and all of a sudden you're having just that bird flying over you and you're just like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen in a second. Camps are taken on both sides. Both teams trying to get the bruiser camp going so that they can set this up in the middle. And outside of that is obviously just the early game skirmishes here with a quick pause already. So with pausing, and that means one thing. Yeah, Ultralisk disconnected again. The 3-2-3 moment, if there's anything that is reliable when we're talking about Feel the Heat, then it is that at some point Ultralisk is going to disconnect. As Angie said, the internet is new for us. So the German internet is always a bit unreliable over here. I don't really know where Ultralisk lives. It must be like a hut in the middle of nowhere. Irgendwo, nirgendwo. But it's kind of funny to always see him have these issues. Talking about issues, Blaze has one too. Wit is about to go down here. The body blocks are real. He's getting nowhere. Trying to get away with jet propulsions, and there's just no chance. So there's a kill, the second one for Washed Up. But I gotta give a shout out quickly to Ultralisk. As much as we're making some lighthearted fun of him, he is getting some insane stacks for Medivh. He's nearly done. He's at 35 now. So just a few more shots connected and he will have completed his baseline. And we're only 3.5 minutes into the game, so that's pretty nuts. Oh no! 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 Oh my god. 35 stacks. Ah, he had it! He had it! What? Oh my god, he actually had it. I was just about to say he lost everything. 35 in, but he was able to grab it. Jesus. Alright, I think I have this one lined up. Guys, take a look at this one. Take a look here. He gets booped in. Look how close this is. He's at 37, gets booped over 38, and the last hit brings him completion. That's actually insane. That's actually incredible. Like, while he was booped on the other side of the map, he gets the cooldown off once more. And that last thing connects 2 stacks the same moment he dies. Putting a completely new spin onto the time to feed meme. Quest completed, let's go. Red Web Weavers, they still come down first. So Washed Up might not have been able to shut his stacks down, but they are able to give it the first objective in. But can you imagine if he actually loses all of his stacks after he already collected 38 of them? That would have been so horrific for him. But yeah, clutch, nicely done. I mean, that's German efficiency right there. Not quite sure what to tell you. Doesn't get much more efficient than that. Now we have, on the other hand, still the 1 level lead for Washed Up, so that didn't really change. And they are barreling through the bot lane and try to take that fort down. And at this point, it doesn't really seem like they can be stopped here, or can they? There's already more damage against Medivh. He's dead again, and they're trying to go for Blade 2. There's a lot of damage coming through right now. Web Weavers are nearly getting defended against, but as they're trying to control Dino, they have a chance to lock in a second kill. X-Ray barely keeps him alive for another second. Oh, the ball stun of Diablo. Get your face smashed in, baby. Look at that kill. Brutal. I mean, they nearly got away, and then it's really Junkrat setting this up, and this is what makes Junkrat so great in these situations. And Diablo is just popping him like a pimple. So no chance for him to get out there, but a lot of the credit goes to Junkrat to set this up the way he did. 6 kills to 1, another camp taken at the bottom of the map, and you might already have realized that there's a lot of momentum now in the hands of Washed Up. They are about to get a second turn in 2. They have the level 10, and it's pretty nasty. This is getting out of control here. So, Feel the Heat. They did such a fantastic job after the first map to win 2 in a row. And I honestly thought that they would be able to do so much more here, but all of a sudden on the 5th map, they're getting hammered. I mean, we're looking at the boss top side getting attacked, and you can't do anything about it because you don't have level 10 yet. And there's a realistic chance that Washed Up is not only going to grab the objective, but also the boss. They're getting both. So 10 is finally there. Are they going to make the play? This one looks like they're turning from Malthael. Yeah, Malthael turns in at the bottom. So they're trading boss for turn-in. It's something that we actually seen a lot. So you trade the boss for the turn-in, and that's the kind of play you're trying to make. But in this case, Washed Up isn't even rotating yet, so they're instead trying to at least get the fort up at the top before they go for the defense. There's the ley line set up. Hitting 2. Okay, can they capitalize on it? Doesn't seem likely. Sound barrier gets dropped. Boss is also dropping the fort as we speak, and they're dropping Wit as well. Wit is down, and it seems like not really happy with it yet either. They go for X-Ray, and that's a double kill. Lucio with 2 kills. Urel is defending against the Web Weavers at the bottom of the map. The fort has already been eliminated. And yeah, this is pretty sexy setup here. They're doing tons of work in this case now. 8 kills against 1. I don't know what that reminds you of, but it reminds me very much so of game number 1. But at least we have a couple of kills for Feel the Heat. They get a second one as Malthael connects the last rights on Cassia and gets also the first stack for his level 10. So there's that. Level 13 is incredibly close on the other hand. So, yeah. Down to the bottom of the map. They're trying to go for Dequaza, but they can't quite get it. Alright, so the situation as is pretty good one for Washed Up. 2 forts are eliminated on the blue team side. They're trying to do what they can here. A couple of portals are set up the entire time, but they are always controlled. There's so much portal control right now. I've highlighted specifically Lucio and Junkrat before, but let's not forget that Urel, for example, is also another fantastic hero for zone control and can be great with that too. Blade is right on... Nah, it's not right. It's not there for the interrupt. I was about to say he's just able to get the interrupt on the channel, but yeah, he's just a little bit too late as he wrapped around the outside. So the Web Beavers are going to touch ground once more for Washed Up as they're already pushing through the middle. Good wall stun by Masquerade again. They're controlling the portal. Wit is suffering a lot of damage. Wit might actually still fall. He's forced into the bunker. Riptire comes in too, but he makes it out. But boy, does he have to commit a lot of resources to that escape. That nearly backfired here for him. 8-2. Bot lane gets pressured, top lane gets pressured, middle gets still attacked here. They're trying for Masquerade, Leyline is out. The ult comes in, but we also have the kill against Medivh. That's the 3rd time that Ultralisk dies. And at the bottom of the map, there's already serious pressure against the wall, while everybody is still sitting in the middle trying to defend this. The kill against Blaze, that's the 2nd one against the blue team. They are just really getting crushed on so many lanes right now. Top lane is breaking through the wall. At the bottom, the wall has already fallen. Malthael in the middle is now also dying. Ana, the only one still alive. They're trying to go for the fort here. Nobody's dealing with the top either. 15 is on the board. 11 kills to 3. Urel moved down. They're trying to go for the keep. They are fucking everywhere at this point. They are crushing. Guys, it's 10 minutes into the game. The keep is down. We have the fort destroyed in the middle and up at the top. The keep has also suffered a lot of damage. It's down to 50% HP. This is getting crazy. Washed Up. They waited for the 5th map to completely pop off again. This is way more reminiscent than the first map than any of the other games that we've seen in the series so far. But holy hell. Only ones not dying at this point are Lucio, Junkrat, and Urel. Those 3 have not fallen once. 40,000 damage for Nick on Cassia. And he is at 51 stacks. But what a game. It's absolutely insane. So, at this point, what else do we have? Top side, that's currently where we have Medivh still hovering. We have also Blade just covering the side here. Down at the bottom of the map, as you can see, there's obviously still the Siege Giants moving in. Nick is trying to also cover that. Urel has still moved up to the top. And with 16 now in their hands, they have a really good chance here. Interestingly enough, by the way, we have Cruelty on level 13 and Overpowering Nightmare on level 16 now. So, yep, a little bit of a different setup, especially with the Cruelty pick that we have for them right now. Here comes Dibbles again as he's trying to move in for it. Let's see what they actually can do here. Can they push through the middle and maybe drop another keep? I mean, if anything, the top lane is probably the one that has the most trouble. And that is when the boss comes into play again. And that's another 15-second cooldown that they currently have over here. So with the talent advantage, there's a chance that they're just going for boss. And yeah, they're already moving in for it. So they go for boss. Medivh obviously sees all of this. And if they commit to it, they gotta be careful that there's no ley line in order to steal that away. But with level 16 talents in their hands, it's a bit unlikely that Feel the Heat really makes a move for it. If Feel the Heat, on the other hand, accepts that they take the boss, it would mean that they sacrifice their keep without really fighting for it. So they might feel forced into a battle here. Half a level is still missing, but that's obviously a fight that Washed Up wants to force. They go for gaming. Great shield for Medivh. The bunker was nice too, but Blade is in trouble, and Blade falls first as we have everybody else for the blue team
getting murdered here too. They're following up on it. They're taking down Ana. They're going for not only Dino, but they take Blaze out too. Dino is low. All the gems are lost. Nearly a 5-man wipe. The only one still alive is Medivh, but the center of attention is the core, and Washed Up is on their way to victory. They go for the 5-man team wipe as they crush Medivh and make their way to the core itself in an attempt to lock the series in. There's nobody to defend it anymore, and Washed Up moves on to the grand final, whereas Feel the Heat drops down into the losers bracket, where they have another chance to, of course, get revenge later on in the tournament. But the winner bracket final goes to Washed Up. GG and well played as they take it with a 3-2 victory.